critical thinkers, public speakers, and they debate.
We have doctors, we have nurses and midwives, but you're the one who read the article and said that yes.
Introducing I Debate TV Championship, where the best schools in Rwanda battle against each other, resolving conflicts without resorting to violence, solving problems creatively using debate. I Debate TV Championship.
Hello there and welcome back. This is episode 5 of the I Debate TV Championship. My name as always is David and I'm your host. Today we have two schools taking on each other with only one thing in mind, and that is to prove each other wrong. For today's motion we have this house believes that we should separate the art from the artist. And of course, we have our panel of judges that I'm going to introduce to you now. Judge number 1 is none other than Judge Jacques. Judge Enoch is coming back with us. And of course, Judge Joselito. And of course, the schools that have come to debate today. With the proposition side is Saint Bernadette. Yes, and of course the guys that are here to prove them wrong is Rwamagana Leaders School. Now of course, I hope you guys are excited as I am, because it's going to be a hell of a debate. Now of course, my job here is done. I shall leave it to Judge Jacques to commence the debate for today.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the judge of today's debate. I'm very excited to be here. I'm excited to see both teams giving good arguments, and their arguments making a battle that is going to define who's going to win and who is going to prove another. I'm here to learn how we should separate the art from the artist and how we should not separate it. I'm excited to see both teams giving out. And the flow of the debate, each speaker has 4 minutes to deliver the speech, which is not interrupted. And after, there is a cross-examination for 2 minutes. And after the 6 speeches, we are going to offer 2 minutes to prepare for the reply speeches. And later on, we're going to deliver the reply speech 2 minutes. I wish good luck to both teams, and may the best win for today's debate. We invite the first speaker, proposition, to go on the floor.
Thank you. I'm by the names of Muzirahwani Dina, coming from the proposition side with the motion that states that this house believes that we should separate art from artists. To believe is to accept that something is possible. And we, as the proposition side, we do accept that to separate art from artists, it's possible. Why? Art, it's an expression of a human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form such as printing, sculpture, music, and poetry. And then artist is a person who paints, draws, or sings. Then how do we believe that it is possible to separate art from artists? The reason as to why we believe that it is possible, it's because it's already working in our country. Why working in our country? We have a musician called Itahiwachu Bruce, known as Bruce Melody, had a song Niza. Niza was burned because of the bad information. That's when they separated music and the artist. Niza was burned as an art, and then the artist was left to go on with other activities and other songs. Then we also have another person, that's the legend, J. Polly, known as Tushime Joshua. J. Polly has been imprisoned, but the music has been played. Why? It's because music is giving in good news, good information, and then the person is barred. They were able to separate art with the artist. That's why we do believe that it is possible. And then, dear judges, I'm going to give you something that is possible. Why? Let me give you an example. It's an example of a pregnant woman. A pregnant woman is not called a mother, not until has given birth. That's why an artist is not called an artist before proves out something, and that's what we call art. Art is not called art not until it's brought out. That's the very example that I'm giving you. And then you can't separate a mother with a child inside the womb. But once the child is given in, you can take the child and leave the mother if at all the child is not taken care of. And then, dear judge, another thing is that we're going to say, the case study that we're having Itahiwachu Bruce, known as Bruce Melody, Antoine Christophe Agbepa Mumba, known as Kofi Olomide, and then Robert Sylvester Kelly, known as R. Kelly. Why, like George, we have a question as in, why do they separate their names? As in, R. Kelly is a brand name. It's a music name, but the real names are Robert Sylvester Kelly, dear judge. We're going to ask why eliminate Sylvester? Why not use Robert as a full name? It's what brings us here, dear judge. And then we did not advocate for separation of art from artists without seeing the causes, as in what is it affecting? With the combination of art and artists, dear judge, it's affecting the society, the artists themselves, and also the country. How? If at all we ban the music completely and also stop the artists from bringing out more songs, the country is not going to get money from taxes because those songs, they're taxed, dear judge. And then my second speaker, known as Rusagara Irereke Vine, is going to tell you about how that message is going to be affected, which that message is needed by all the people. And also my third speaker is going to come here and tell you about the reputation, how that reputation is affected, which the reputation being affected, it hence affects the society, the country, the families, artists, dear judge. And therefore, dear judge, that's why we're advocating for the separation of art and artists, so that we, the country, we the people, and also we as the proposition side, we don't be affected by the effects of this combination. That's what my second speaker and third speaker are going to come presenting here, dear judge. And also, dear judge, another thing is that we're gonna prove you on how we can solve this and also advocate for the separation. Thank you, dear judges. I rest my case.
Honorable, you actually talked about the reputation. We would like to be so clear about this reputation. Whose reputation are you talking about? The country's reputation or the artist's reputation? What is going to affect the society in terms of reputation? Please be clear about it.
Thank you. That's what I told you. I told you that for the case of the reputation, it's going to be the role of my third speaker to come and tell you how this reputation is affecting the family and how is it affecting the artists themselves and also the country's reputation. So I prefer leaving this to my third speaker because that's our plan.
Thank you. Okay, so another question is about Bruce Melody. His song being banned, Itahu Iwachu, is it? So Itahu Iwachu, that song has been banned, and you believe that this song, the art can be banned and the artist cannot be banned. But do you also believe that this, in the first place, art would not exist without the artist? Please give a yes or a no.
As I told you and explained to you, I gave you an example of a pregnant woman. A pregnant woman is not called a mother before that art is out. That's why we can't move out the fetus from the mother, because that's suicide, dear judges. But we can wait for that baby to come out and take the baby and leave the mother do the wrong things. That's why we said art can't exist without an artist, but you can separate the art from the artist.
Honorable, do you believe that if a child is taken away from the mom and is just an unborn baby, it has effects? I just want a yes or a no. I don't want an explanation, my dear Honorable. Please give me a direct answer.
By the time you asked those questions, my time was up. Therefore, I rest my case.
Okay.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, for giving me the opportunity to speak in a debate. It is of such high personal importance to me. I am Ngoga Jean-Pierre from Rwamagana Leaders School. Today's motion states that this House believes that art should be separated from the artist. In fact, I'm standing here to disagree wholeheartedly. The question of separation of art and artist has plagued our society in recent times. The answer to this question is simple. Art and artists have never been separate. So the proposition would argue out of mind, out of sight, that somehow the blood, sweat, and tears that artists pour into their work is separable from who they are and what they represent. I would argue that art cannot be separated from the artist for the main three reasons. One is the creative process. all creative minds know what creating a piece of work is like. And it's a prolonged, arduous, and at times seemingly impossible task. Art is created by people who pour an immense amount of time, thought, and energy into it. Art becomes significant when people connect to it. When you connect to art, you basically connect to its artist, and this process produces created for its attractiveness contribution. The other is socio-cultural impacts. We all know that the moral flaws of artists have an effect on our appreciation of its attractiveness. To give you an example, we all know that R. Kelly is a talented singer. However, when we come across his music, we are immediately filled with thoughts of rape, sexual assault, sex trafficking, and all that. We wouldn't even forget to mention movements like #MuteRKelly, which has been advocating the ban of R. Kelly's art just because of the accusation of sexual assault that he has been found guilty for. In this case, the arts which are being advocated for ban have nothing to do with such misconduct. If it wasn't about the R. Kelly's arts because of his personal actions, which literally means that art can be separated from the artist, is due to the fact that whatever an artist does affects his artwork, and any artwork depicts the personal values and attitudes of an artist. So therefore, the two are definitely inseparable. The third reason to why we believe that art should not be separated from the artist is the fact that art is financial dependency to the artist. Artists cannot possibly be separated from their art because their financial and cultural success are dependent upon it. So let's try to imagine what would happen if a certain artist was taken away his or her art and they're not able to make an income out of it. Their lives would be totally ruined. An artist's work is part of who they are. In other words, it is a tool they use to make a living. Thank you.
Well, the first question that I would like to ask you, you've given us an example of R. Kelly. R. Kelly, known as Robert Sylvester Kelly. His music was banned from YouTube. His music was delivering good message. There is a song that says, "I feel I can fly." That's a song that gives us good information and a good message. And then you're saying that we can't separate it. If at all that message was burned, if that message was burned, how will the young generation get the message? That's why we're saying they would have punished R. Kelly as a person and left the message to go on. So should we leave the good message because of the bad act? Please answer me.
I think we should not be regardless of the fact that, however, the message that R. Kelly's music was providing, people will still regard the music that he produced in his own image. When they see his music, they don't care much about what the message is delivering. They will just get to feel with thoughts of what he did, which literally means that his music is directly connected to his personal actions. So this is why we're saying that art should not be separated from the artist. You've mentioned about J. Pauli. J. Pauli also, the late J. Pauli, his music, he had some music which had a good message as well, a positive message. But then when he was convicted of such crimes, people would regard him in a different image because of his art, because his art represents him. They wouldn't care much about what the message is in the music, but instead they would just still look him in that image. So I think this is why we're saying that art should not be separated from the artist. Because of that, art is part of who the artists are. So in fact, I think, art, thank you. In fact, we think, we believe that art is part of who the artist is. So the fact that the message is good or is positive for a certain community, it does not say that the artist's image or the artist's misconducts will be not regarded by people.
Thank you, first speaker, opposition. I would like to invite the second speaker, proposition, to go on the floor.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here by the names of Sagay Kevin. I'm the second speaker from the proposition side. The first speaker from the opposition side came and said that J. Poli's image has also affected the songs. Actually, J. Poli's image has changed, but the message in the songs of J. Poli did not change. That is the separation we're talking about. You have to ban the artist staff if he has made mistake. You should punish the J. Poli and leave the songs alone. You came and say that R. Kelly's songs are bad because he's also a bad person. I would like to share with you the song called Rise Up. It is a song by R. Kelly. It has lyrics saying that rise up when you feel you can't go on, rise up when you're weak and you can't be strong, rise up when all of your hope is gone. Let me cut that. That song is encouraging people to not give up. Whenever you're in doubt, whenever you feel like you can't go on, rise up. So why are we banning this song? R. Kelly is a bad person, but Rise Up is a good song. Leave the artist alone and leave the art alone. We should separate those things. Another thing, you say that financial dependency, they're going to get money from that thing. R. Kelly was imprisoned and the songs were stopped. R. Kelly is not the only one who made that song. There is a very huge production team behind the song. They're going to be affected by the mistakes that R. Kelly has done. Why are we making the team get affected? The team has done its role and it has to feel the benefits. It has to feel the profits. Why are you making the team suffer because of the mistakes of R. Kelly? Punish R. Kelly alone, let the team and the song continue. Let the song and the team flow. Here are my views that I'm going to share with you. We should separate art from the artist. Going on with my views, there is this man called Bruce Melody. His real names are called Itahiwachu Bruce. He has released a song called Mhiza, featuring Mr. Kagame. He released this song in May 2020. This song was criticized by RLL's Rwandan Academy of Language and Culture, being vulgar contrary to the Rwandan culture values and norms. It prompted the Ministry of Youth Culture to ban the song. Exactly in October 23rd, he released a song in Gakondo style called 24, featuring Charles Shima. This song was praised by Bamporiki Edward in his meeting, tweeting, saying that ntimukemere izahabu nk'iyi itakara mu bishingwe, komerezaho. Translating it, he said, you should never let gold like this get lost in the trash. Keep the momentum. Is the opposition suggesting that we should lose gold in the trash? Bruce Melody's song was banned, but in October, he made a good song. If we had banned Bruce Melody, he would not have released that song. That song is releasing good message. So is the opposition side trying to tell us that we shouldn't separate gold from trash? We as the affirmative side, we are saying that let us throw away the trash and keep the gold. We are not going to lose one thing. We're not going to lose a big thing because of one small thing. There's this group of UK musicians called Jump for Freedom. They release songs of awareness of mental health. At the same time, they release the songs of singing songs against lockdown and COVID-19 vaccinations. Are we going to ignore the messages of mental health assurance just because they've released the COVID-19 against songs? We're going to keep the songs of mental health awareness and also ban the song of going against the COVID-19 vaccinations. This is why we have to leave the artist alone and let the art alone. Those are two different things that shouldn't come together. Art is art, artist is artist. This is why, by that, I should conclude saying that artists may produce wonderful works even if their biographies are far from commendable. And by that, leave the artist alone. By that, I raise my case.
Honorable Speaker, if you actually know about Roman Polanski, he has a background of being a child rapist. So I would like to bring a proposal to you. He puts up a foundation for children's education. And then, actually, with this background of his, are you going to opt to take him or to take your child to this foundation? Yet there are other better foundations with better inspiration of people. Dear Honorable, please answer me with a yes. Would you take your child to his foundation, or would you take him to another foundation with a better inspiration?
The foundation helps the children.
Okay, yes.
I am going to take my child there.
Okay, thank you. I'm Kunz Elizabeth, Rwamagana Leaders School, and I'm from the opposition team of the motion that states that this House believes that art should be separated from the artist. And yes, we accept it with whatever explanation they've given to these terms. So I want to just take you through a clear vision of what you're talking about. Our group supports that if an artist is bad, then automatically his art is bad. Then if it's the contrary, then it's the same. So I would like to talk about the cancel culture. Cancel culture is where people rush to the decision of not supporting the art that the artist has been putting up. If actually this person's behavior has become problematic in the society. And why would we support this? This is because if you're going to support this person, actually, yes, if everyone is going to support the artists, we are all knowing that we are giving them income. They're earning from us. They're earning from our support. So what do we mean here? You're supporting crime indirectly. If you're supporting a criminal, a criminal artist, then you're supporting a crime indirectly. Take about the evidence of a footage released from 2020 about a physical alteration between rappers Quavo and Saweti. This was actually a couple, but then recently, Quavo surfaced some allegations against him that he was actually practicing domestic violence against the girlfriend. And this called for the media to get two teams between them. And the team of Saweti was supporting that. This person, Quavo's art, in hip-hop group Migos should be cancelled out. So how do you say that? Art and the artist is not one thing. If you can actually judge art and artists at one time. Thank you. So she talks about the example of pregnant women being birthing, like giving birth to children, and actually then you can take it away from her if she is not able to take care of it. Excuse me, Honorable. When you take away this child, of course, this child has a natural connection with mother. So you're not automatically going to get anything to this baby like the mother would have, even if the mother is not capable enough. But the mother is so naturally connected to her. Thank you. So I'd like to talk about insulting people's legacy. This is about Frida Kahlo and Nina Simone. Nina Simone, these people were rejected. Their art was rejected just because of their background. Their art was rejected just because of their culture. They were Mexican, American, Africans, and they were rejected. Why is their art rejected just because of where they come from? Yet, you're saying art is not the same as the artist. Then please, you should first convince the public before you convince us. Thank you. So we would like to talk about Roman Polanski, a convicted child rapist and fugitive, has worked consistently with the movie industry, and he has actually won even a César Award in 2020. Wow, I'm so surprised at our government, and I'm so surprised at the public, that you could actually vote for someone to be put up with an award even, just because he has some good art. And you take away the fact that he's a child rapist, so he's going to put up a foundation for children, and you'll take your child there. What if that's the mission he has? He's a rapper, that is it. And his art presents the same thing as it is. Artists with allegations concerning an aspect of violence have been turned away from gallery after gallery, and artists can't possibly be separate from art. Someone who, like, you'll take the example of the person who talks about pieces of women on Netflix. This person was rejected on Netflix, and his name was removed from the preview. Why? Just because his personality is not suitable for the art. And the art is not going to be great without the artist creating greatness in him. Thank you, judges, and the House of Flag.
The first question that I would like to ask you, and I need an answer as a yes or no. Do you think Rising Up a foundation and art?
I would like to tell you that it was just an example, my dear Honorable. You were actually not getting my content right. I was just giving an example, but him as the artist, if he's going to set up, he's going to set up a foundation, just the way to help, you know, the society or to set his image right. Is it right to support him, or is it not right to support him? We don't support you know, whatever you give to these people to support them financially or any way possible. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to also ask you, you say that the art represents the artist. And I would like to ask you if you know the song called Heal the World by Michael Jackson. I know you know that song. Michael Jackson is a sexual abuser. Heal the World prevails a good message of love, peace, and unity. I want you to answer me. Is Heal the World a sexual abusive song?
We actually have a saying that I paint. I don't paint dreams. I don't paint nightmares. I paint the reality. And these people, these artists, these criminals, actually have the habit of, you know, coming to pretend the good, you know, the good character in society. Don't you know them? Actually, yes, if the song is good, but when you're going to search it, which name are you going to put there? By Michael Jackson. And it's already creating a platform for him. So there is no way you're going to separate art from the artist. Look at Woody Allen movies. They're actually created from him, his personality. And people who act there are actually supporting the character. So if you want to crush it, then how are you going to crush it? You just have to remove everything. Thank you, the judges, the House of Panel, and the Intellectual House. I rest my case.
Thank you, second speaker, opposition. I'd like to invite the third speaker, proposition.
Greetings to you all. I'm here to Ishmael Arsene from the proposition side. And dear judges, I'm here to propose the motion which says that this house believes that we should separate the art from the artist. And dear judges, as the proposition side, we are here to prove how we are going to separate, and this separation is possible. Going with the refutations, I would, for the first thing, they asked about the reputation, that which of the reputation are we saving? And we said that we are saving the reputation of the society, the artist, and also the country. And whereby, dear judges, if an art is producing bad information or the bad message, we are going to ban the art. And then, if the artist is the one to be committing these crimes, he is going to be separated from the art, which is, dear judges, possible with the mother analogy that my first speaker said that. When a mother is not, when a mother just don't give her the baby, she's not called a mother until the time when the baby is out. And the second thing that they said about the song which is, the song which name is Itaiwachu. And the name of the song is not Itaiwachu. The Itaiwachu is the name of the real name of the artist, who is Bruce Melody as a brand name. And dear judges, on the other thing, the third refutation is about J. Polly. For this case of J. Polly, we asked the question that during the imprisonment of J. Polly, his songs were already being played. And dear judges, this is the separation. Hence, praise to the separation by the Rwandan government. And another thing is, we also asked how a foundation is an art. And dear judges, they gave us that a foundation is not an art, but an example. And dear judges, I want them to first come and bring maybe the connection or a link with the foundation and an art, so as to cut their content well. And another thing, dear judges, is the group of people behind the art production, whereby we are saving the group of people behind the art production, whereby we are limiting the artist from his arts during the imprisonment or the penalties, and saving the other group of foundation, whereby the incomes is going to be given. And the separation is possible, as we proved, and the project of arts by the rejection of arts by the background, as they said, they wouldn't have been able to reject the arts because of the background of the artist, whereby the art was giving the good information. And thereby, dear judges, as we were saying that this separation we are going to aim at. And I would like to first say you that the crimes are going to be handled by the laws and the judges, and the separation or the art is going to be handled by the people's connection to the arts that they are giving. And dear judges, I would like also to first tell you the types of art with the judges, which we are saying. The first type of art is the painting art, whereby I can give the example of Leonardo da Vinci. He is alcoholic in his personal life, and dear judges, his art of Mona Lisa. It is the first painting that is costing the large amount of the money, which is $500 US. And then the second thing is the scientific art. The scientific art, we are saying that about the Pythagoras theorem. The Pythagoras theorem is from the one who is called Pythagoras. And then his art of scientific is still now valid. And then the guy, he's a humanizer and also a alcoholic. So are we going to ban the art from proceeding because he is a humanizer or an alcoholic? The third thing is the acting, whereby I can give the example in the film industry for Gen Z. And Gen Z is a brand name of Daniel Gaga with a public, whereby he plays the film when he is a killer, and the judges in the private life, he is so humble. So are we abusing Daniel Gaga for the arts? So dear judges, thanks to the separation by the Rwandan government, whereby they separated the arts from the artists, for the example of J. Polly, Bruce Melody, and also thanks to the separation of okay, thank you. I rest my case.
Honorable Speaker, I'd like to first get it clear. What did you say a painting is? Is it a type?
Yes, it's a type of an art.
Okay, great. I'd like you to first, I would actually remind you to go and first check your sources if it's actually a type or form. We have three types: decorative, commercial, and fine art. So that is just a form for your information. So you're talking about the connection of the foundation and the art, right? So can you tell me one of the reasons as to why art is put into place?
The aim of arts is to give the message to the broader population, and whereby the foundation is not going to give this message. Actually, what the foundation is doing about is catering for those children that are being taken there, and that's not art.
Thank you. I would actually. So is it the only reason, or there are other reasons?
The other reasons of the arts.
Okay, thank you, definitely. So art is actually put up also for income. So if art is supported, income is got. And what is this income used for? Income is used to invest in different businesses, and foundation, it might be one of them. So he's going to be reliably like wealthy, a better off person. So he is not going to get affected. So you talk about the law. So, Honorable, who do you want to implement the law against these people?
Of course, the law is by the government, and I would like to answer the fact of the income that you are saying. We are saying that we are advocating for this separation because the arts is behind a wide group whereby the income is going to be provided due to the arts, so that the wide group behind the production of the art is going to be gaining from the art, and the artist who is committing the crimes is going to be so away.
Honorable, so I'd like to tell you that
the
law is influenced by income. We have corrupt government. So that's it.
Thank you, the judging committee, the judging panel, plus the intellectual house. By the fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick apples from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Matthew chapter 7, verse 16, the New International Version Bible. I'm Iradukunda Kabiritse from Rwamagana Ladies School, here to oppose the motion that states that this house believes that we should separate art from the artist. Well, I would like to first throw some light on what the proposition side has brought on the table. Number one, the first speaker has talked about the Bruce Melody having a different stage name. That is, his stage name is Bruce Melody, and his actual name is Itahiwachu Bruce. Well, I would like to first mention that it was just a slip of tongue by mentioning that Itahiwachu is the title of the song. Well, so there are so many reasons as to why that Itahiwachu Bruce chose to take Bruce Melody as the stage name. Number one, you should note that he paid attention to how the name sounds. Bruce Melody, yes. Besides, the benefits expected, the easy pronunciation and everything that is associated with adopting that name, the stage name Itahiwachu. Besides, the first speaker has brought something like, we should separate the art from the artist. But I would like to defend that art and artists are inseparable. For instance, J. Paul's art, his music, was jeopardized by his conviction. Well, it should be noted that he lost fans. He lost the support from the audience as a result of his conviction. Therefore, art and the artist are inseparable. So the second speaker has also mentioned, Honorable Kevin has mentioned something like, you should punish the artist and not the song. I mean, you should punish the artist but not ban the song. But we believe that we should throw the gold and the trash, all of them together. Because the art and the artist, we believe that they are inseparable because we recognize that recognizing the art is recognizing the artist. Saying Mona Lisa, the portrait itself, the first thing we think about is its artist, Da Vinci. The third speaker, Honorable Mollis, has talked about saving the reputation of a society by separating art from the artist. But, as the elders say, just the potatoes, one that is rotten, just put it away, yes? So it's not just for the sake of the society, yes? It's the matter of the art and the artist are one. And therefore, just for the sake of the society, you should keep them together. Well, so we have given you several facts arguing why we should not separate art from the artist. Number one, the first speaker has mentioned the socio-cultural impact. The moral flaws of the artist affect his art. For instance, we know that the Koffi Olomide's compromised performance in Kigali because of the accusation of their sexual assaults. Second, it should be noted that connecting to the art enables us to connect to the artists. For instance, by me reading Mandela's biography, we know that I can know who Mandela is. Besides, the creative process, the investment that is taken to bring art into existence should not be ignored for the sake of the art. Thank you.
Thank you. As we were saying that that the crime is going to be handled by the laws and the art is going to be handled by the people. So I have the question which goes like, as the image changes, does the message also changes? The message from the art.
It should be noted that art is not only the message, but the effect it creates. So you need to associate what the message and the effect, so that the reputation of the singer, the reputation of the artist, it also affects the art he's producing. Therefore, the understanding I get from the art is affected by the artist's reputation. For instance, Adolf Hitler was a good painter, yes, but him being a good painter, I'm not going to appreciate his art thoroughly because of his role in the Holocaust. Thank you.
Okay, the second question is, why do they prefer the brand names, not their real names?
Come again, please.
Why do they prefer the brand names, the artist names, not their real names in the private life?
That's what I have submitted initially. They adopt the stage names for the reasons of how it sounds, Bruce Melody. It's more easy to pronounce than Itangishaka Bruce. And therefore, the two, still Bruce Melody is the same as Itangishaka. The stage name and the actual name, they don't make a change. Thank you.
Well, you've seen it all. It was an awesome and exciting debate here. The two sides have presented their excellent arguments, and of course, they are now preparing for their reply speech. Judge Jacques, how is it so far?
Thank you. The debate was very much interesting. There were some good arguments. I was uh, very happy to see how our students were just elaborating their arguments, giving examples, showing case studies, defending everything, and I was very much convinced. I'm excited to see how the verdict is going to be today.
Yes, yes, we're very excited. I can't wait. I mean, the work these people have is just amazing. Trying to decide who's going to win. These sides are all amazing. They're presenting excellent arguments, and, well, it's up to them now. So we shall give them the time to prepare for their reply speech, and we'll be back.
Thank you. I'd like to invite the speaker is going to deliver the reply speech from the opposition side. Welcome to the floor.
I'm once again privileged to be here, and I'm Queen Elizabeth as usual. I'm from Rwamagana Leader School, the same. So I'm here to give you how our debate went on and how we observed it. So we were able to connect with you people, with our judges. We were able to connect with our house, and we were able to show you the reasons as to why we believe 100% that it is not right for someone to take away another person's or the artist's work just because of some personal ideologies. So the proposition team came up, and it actually, yes, it was able to play with us, and it was able to fully, try to convince us, but 100%. We're just a 30% convinced. So please, they should try to get the other percentage left for us to be convinced. So our dear judges, we believe that we win this debate because we have been able to present facts that are are tangible. We have been able to present something that can build a case and can make people believe that the artist needs to own his artist. The artist needs to own his art or her art. But this thing of people just waking up and to decide about someone's future of life is not right. My dear judges, I invite you to think about it. I invite the House to analyze what these people are trying to convince us, and please try to find some sense out of it. And if it's actually making sense, then we accept that we lose the debate. But without any sense, then we don't accept that we're losing this debate. We actually believe that our government or any other government does not have a right on any person's art. Thank you.
As the motion states that this House believes that we should separate art from artists. Dear Judge, we're here to play a simple game. The role of the opposition is to prove us that it is impossible to separate art from artists, which they failed. And the proposition side, our role is to prove that it is possible to separate art from artists, dear Judge. And then we're going to play a simple thing. How did they prove? They gave us facts that truly favored us. As in they said about the foundation. The person is a wrongdoer and creates a foundation. Why should we take our children there? It's because of being able to analyze that the foundation is to bring good, is to help the poor. And then the person is bad. That's why we shall not consider the bad person. We shall leave the bad person be bad and then take our children to the foundation. That's what the essay gave us facts as into why we should separate art from artists. Dear Judge, we went on showing an example of a pregnant woman. An artist is not called an artist, not until releases an art. An art is an action. An art behind people, the people behind there have got the producers, the writers. And that's why the judge brought out points in the reputation. They talked nothing about it. We talked about the case studies as Itahiwachi Bruce Melody. They went on giving us why we should not separate, but they never proved any facts. That's why we advocated for the separation cause. If at all you had not separated Bruce Melody from Niza, Bruce Melody would have suffered. That's the economic decline that we're talking about, dear judges. Let's leave Bruce Melody enjoy life because he's also human, and then let's the music because it's bad. That's why they say that we should not let gold go with the trash. Let the trash of Niza go, and then the gold of Bruce Melody stay. The gold of Bruce Melody, 24, let it stay, and then the trash of Niza, let it go. We talked about J. Polly. We said the music goes on. We talked about the group of people. We talked about the group of people behind the art production, and therefore, Judge, I rest my case saying that it is possible.
We've come to the moment which is kind of the hardest part for the debaters. The judges have left and they are discussing to see which side convinced them most. They are outside and the debaters are still here. Now, I can tell, as having been a debater myself, that hey, this was the time when our hearts would be pumping at almost 100 beats per minute. Now, the judges will be in here and they will present us with the results. So let's wait, and in the meantime, stay tuned. We are back and the judges are back. Judge Jacques, Enoch and Joselito have discussed and they have come to an agreement. They have the results and they're gonna tell us as the sides look in despair. The looks on your faces are just precious. I mean, look at you guys. Judge Jacques, have you decided who the winner is?
Yes.
All right, so which criteria did you actually base on to decide?
Actually, we based on the motion itself was a debate of correct, so we were expecting to see the proposition, expecting to see the criteria, like we see which side show us like why should we advocate for art to be separated from the artist, and they really defend that, giving facts and information and arguments that should make us consider that, and also see the people who are advocating for not separating art from the artist, really defending their side, really standing still and defending really what they were advocating for. So that was the main criteria that we depended on, and how the refutation was being actually done, and arguments, how they're just being elaborated, more explained and convincing. So that was actually the main criteria we based on while taking the verdict.
All right, thank you. Now, you've been a debater yourself. You've been in iDebate for quite a good time, and I think that's why it has earned you a seat as a judge. You've noticed a few things, a few errors, or a few compliments on both sides. You care to elaborate any?
In fact, before I just give some tips, I would like to first appreciate the two teams. They were really good debaters. It's quite like some few things I could tell them, but actually they did a good job. Their speaker roles, their arguments were so good. But I would like to stress something that we just lacked as the judges. For the next debates, that I would like to tell them, if they want to, if it's a debate of fact, we want them to just come with some source of information to just know where like their arguments are really basing on. They had case studies, yes, but we need more like source of information to add and just make the information trustworthy. And also, in their reply speeches, I would like to mark something that reply speech is a matter of just comparing your arguments and their opponent argument. So we were literally in need of showing us like there were these arguments, but if we compare it to our arguments, these were the winning arguments. So we were really expecting that, but in fact they didn't do that, but it didn't affect anything. So I would like to give them like next time in the debate, make a reply speech as much more as a comparison, more than just portraying your side only, because portraying your side only doesn't just give anything, because you have to prove why the other side is wrong and compare it to your side. So that was actually what we needed.
So, for today's motion, that this House believes we should separate art from the artist, the two sides were the proposition, Saint Bernadette, and the opposition, Rwamagana Leaders School. The side that took home this debate is the proposition side, Saint Bernadette. Congratulations, guys. Yes, they came to us and they told us that we should indeed separate art from the artist. So I Debate believes that no one is actually a loser. The teams did do a great job, but hey, one of them had to win. So, as a sign of fair play, I'd like to call upon both teams to come and give a handshake, of course, the Corona style, a fist bump. So, teams, please come up.